The fastest way to ruin a startup is to hire in a hurry. Michael Skok, a founding partner at _VC, says too many founders focus on filling roles quickly instead of finding people who will grow with the mission. In this video, we will uncover his most valuable hiring lessons to help you build a strong, motivated team. Let's get started. Lesson 1. Be careful about who you hire because every hire shapes your business. Here's how Michael puts it. What I hear from startups is, we just can't find quality talent. However, that's not the problem because there's plenty of quality talent. The real challenge is finding the best fit, because every hire you make becomes a building block that shapes your business. In short, the key is to hire for fit because each hire adds to the foundation of your business. Lesson 2. Never settle for average hires. Michael says that it's tempting to fill an open role quickly, but one wrong hire can lower the quality of subsequent hires. He explains, A players know how to hire A-quality candidates, but the bad news is that if you hire Bs, they tend to hire Cs. They hire underneath themselves because they don't want to be challenged. And C players will cost you your company. Therefore, even if you're desperate to fill a post, saying, I'll just get a body in the seat, or I'll hire that B player to fill the gap for now, is a mistake. Lesson 3. A bad hire can destroy everything you've built. One wrong hiring decision can cause more damage than you realize, especially in a small team. Michael explains, the wrong hires can cost you your company because you will lose great people, their knowledge, networks, customer connections, and relationships. For example, in a startup of 5 people, losing one person can mean losing 20% of your company's value. It's painful when you make the wrong hires, and it can be fatal if you hire the wrong founder. Lesson 4. When hiring, assess candidates for passion, culture fit, and ability to succeed in the job. Michael says there are 3 key things to look for. First, can they be successful at the job? If you don't set them up to succeed, you can't blame them when things go wrong. Second, will they love the job? Motivation has to come from within because no amount of incentives can replace genuine passion. Finally, will they fit and strengthen your culture? The best companies outperform others by 300% because they hire people who reinforce a strong culture that drives results. When you hire for passion, fit, and ability, you build a team that performs better and stays longer. Lesson 5. Do not hire for intelligence alone. Hiring the smartest candidates does not guarantee a stronger team, and Michael explains it like this. If you only hire people with the highest IQ, you rarely build a great team. I've had to fire some of the most intelligent people because they believed they were the smartest in the room and didn't want to be challenged, which made them very difficult to work with. Lesson 6. Hire people driven by passion and persistence because these traits matter more than skill or experience. Michael believes the real key to finding great talent is understanding what truly drives a person rather than just focusing on skills and experience. He says, passion and persistence often outweigh every other quality if someone applies their limited skills and experience to a problem they truly care about. In interviews, the goal is to find what they love to do because that passion fuels everything else. You can hire the smartest person, but if they are not excited about your mission, they will eventually leave. That is why I always ask questions like, what gets you out of bed in the morning? What excites you? What does your perfect day look like? Lesson 7. Hire flexible generalist in the early stages, then skilled specialist as your startup grows. Michael explains how a company's team needs to evolve as it scales. He says, having a team of 3 people is very different from having 300. In a small startup, you need generalists who can handle multiple tasks and adapt quickly. But as the team grows, roles become more specialized and it becomes more important to define clearly what each role requires. So in the early stages of your business, hire generalists who can wear many hats, but as the business grows, bring in specialists to handle specific roles. Lesson 8. Prioritize emotional intelligence when hiring. Michael emphasizes that emotional intelligence is a crucial factor to consider when hiring for startups. As he puts it, if you hire people with low emotional intelligence, poor self-awareness, and weak communication skills, your team will struggle to grow. Emotional intelligence is critical in startups because Flexibility and speed are key advantages of a startup. Lesson 9. Ask the right questions to see how candidates understand the role and solve problems. Asking the right questions can reveal whether a candidate truly understands the job and how they approach real-world problems. This is how Michael explains it. My favorite question to ask is directly related to the job you're hiring for. I ask about the most relevant experience, knowledge, and skills they bring because it shows whether they understand what the job requires. When the candidate shares a favorite example of a problem they solved and how they solved it, you gain insight into how they approach challenges. Lesson 10. Trust your instincts to identify the right fit early. Michael says that sometimes the best hiring decisions come from listening to your instincts, especially when something about the candidate feels off. He says it like this: trust your gut. If you have an instinct about something, there is likely a reason for it. If it doesn't feel like a fit, it probably isn't, and it's better to figure that out up front. Therefore, if your intuition tells you a candidate may not be the right person, you should not ignore that feeling. However, instincts can sometimes be influenced by bias or first impressions, so it is also essential to consider the candidate's skills, experience, and how well they fit with the team before making a final decision. Lesson 11. Hire people who have the right attitude, the ability to learn quickly, and the required skills to do the job. Michael explains the concept like this: the best startup secret is hiring the 3 A's: attitude, aptitude, and ability. Attitude is willpower over skill. Aptitude is the ability to learn and adapt quickly, which is critical in startups where you face problems that have never been solved before. Ability ensures a good fit, but without attitude and aptitude, it cannot achieve much. The most successful startups hire for all 3. Lesson 12. Go beyond the provided references to find the best hires. When hiring, do not rely on the references that a candidate provides. Michael puts it like this: whenever someone gives me a reference, I don't pay much attention to it. The references that matter are the ones I find myself. So whether you're giving or receiving a reference, always tell the truth, because if you help someone get a job they're not a good fit for, you're not doing them or the company any favors. Lesson 13. The right hire matters more than a fast hire. Michael gives a clear warning about rushing to hire. Here's what he says: hire the right person, not the one who just seems right at the moment. It will always feel urgent to fill a role, but hiring the right person can make a huge difference and help your company grow. So here's a quick recap of hiring lessons from Michael Skok. Be careful about who you hire, because every hire shapes your business. Never settle for average hires. A bad hire can destroy everything you've built. When hiring, assess candidates for passion, culture fit, and ability to succeed in the job. Do not hire for intelligence alone. Hire people driven by passion and persistence, because these traits matter more than skill or experience. Hire flexible generalists in the early stages, then skilled specialists as your startup grows. Prioritize emotional intelligence when hiring. Ask the right questions to see how candidates understand the role and solve problems. Trust your instincts to identify the right fit early. Hire people who have the right attitude, the ability to learn quickly, and the required skills to do the job. Go beyond the provided references to find the best hires. The right hire matters more than a fast hire. Now, if you want to hire fast, right, and easily, I highly recommend you hire through WorkScreen. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching.